Welcome to the Charm School Crafts Polymer Clay tutorial on conditioning. You'll see that polymer clay comes in blocks, and so you can break off or cut off as much as you need and then store the rest on baking paper or greaseproof paper, not in cling film. These two blocks are a quarter of a block of Sculpey Primo each, and they together will make a bangle something like the one that you can see here. I'm going to show you conditioning starting with a smaller piece though. You can see it's quite hard and tough when you first take it out of the packet, and conditioning means that you're getting all the structure of the polymer clay moving and warmed up so that it becomes more flexible. You can see that with a little bit of pressing and pushing it's become softer already, but a good way of doing it is rolling it as I'm doing now, and that helps to just really move all of the bits of clay inside the structure and get them nice and warmed up. But it's still, as you can see, slightly stiff but a little bit softer than when we began. The warmth of your hands will help to condition the clay as well, so it's a case of rolling it, squidging it, twisting it and just getting the all of it moving, so not just the surface but all of the whole block or piece that you're conditioning right the way through. And at this stage it doesn't matter if when you roll you've got lumps and bumps along the cane or rope or snake, whatever you want to call it. You're just really trying to get that polymer clay moving and soft. So you can see it's a bit of a process, which is why I'm only doing it on a smallish block. So you just carry on until you find that the polymer clay is kind of not sticky so that it's sticking to everything, but just sticky so that it sticks to itself. When you get that effect, it means that the clay is almost ready and conditioned, so you can just work it a little bit longer and then squidge it up into a ball and store it. The best way to store it when you have conditioned clay is in a ball, because there's less surface area for the clay to cool. Another way to condition polymer clay, or to start it off anyway, especially if you've got problems with your hands, if your hands ache or you have joint problems or whatever, is to use the tissue blade or your craft knife, if you only have that, to actually just chop into the block of polymer clay. So you can see I've got a different colour now, which is fresh from the packet, and it's that stiff state that we first looked at. So you're just chopping into the polymer clay and making almost little tiny strands, and you can chop into it as much as you like and into tiny pieces as much as you like. The only disadvantage with this is that it can sometimes introduce a bit too much air into the polymer clay, and also, as you can see, the finer you cut, the more little bits and pieces you have that fall onto your work area, so they can be picked up by other colours if you're not very careful, which is quite easily done, to be honest. So then once you've chopped it and chopped it and chopped it as much as you need to, you find that it's become soft enough to roll and manipulate, as we did with as you could see with the white clay beforehand. So now we're just doing the same process of rolling and twisting and squidging, and in fact I mentioned that you can get colour contamination from little tiny bits. If you do get a little bit of one colour mixed in with another and you don't want it there, then, or a piece of dust or something like that that appears in the polymer clay, simply remove it, just as with a tip of a blade or the edge of the tissue blade that you saw there. So you continue with your conditioning and manipulating and literally just warming the clay up.